I'd like to first make a disclaimer. We're learning all the tools. We're happy and pleasure. So I want you to know, no one should expect to walk out of here being happy. I mean, happy Jews, I mean, closer to Hashem. How many of you have learned how to swim through a textbook? You know? Learn the moves from the book. It says exactly how the strokes go. You may know the strokes from the book, but then you need a lot of practice in the pool. So I'm just giving you the tools. You need a lot of practice, hands-on practice in daily life to keep focused, to be happy. Just a disclaimer. Okay, we learned last week the Tachlis Habriyah. Why did Hashem create the world and what we're here for? It's only for pleasure. Well, it's all about pleasure, and that's why we're here. Hashem created the world for pleasure. That we should have pleasure. So if it's really about pleasure, then the question is, first of all, why is there so much pain in the world? Life is very painful, and we hear this language from, especially, we hear this language a lot. That, life, terrible. Life is awful, life is so hard. If life is all about pleasure, it should be so pleasurable. And if it's truly all about pleasure, then we should really learn the definition of pleasure. Everyone should be out to get the ultimate pleasure, to get the best pleasure. And we have to know what pleasure is before we start fighting how to get pleasure. As we said last week, we have to know machavusa ba'lumoy. Before we know what the choiva is, you have to first know why you're here. And then before we know how to get there, first you have to know what it is. So how do we get to pleasure? We first must understand what's the definition of pleasure. Everyone's out for pleasure. We're all searching pleasure. The whole world is seeking pleasure and running after pleasure. So why is it that if someone wins the lottery, his suicide rate goes up to like 20-25%? I mean, that's a fact. If you win the lottery and then you're excited, very bubbly, jumping, happy, you're not truly happy. After a few weeks and you calm down, it dies down, and you're not so excited anymore, and suddenly it goes into the category of a suicide. Now another question is, why do people go through a middle age crisis? I'm sure you know what it is. We're not yet there, but we know about people who have been through it. The middle age crisis is a typical American. Take a goy, it's more relevant for goy, more secular Jews. They go through their life and they're dreaming when they were a teenager, they're going to make the buck, they're going to make the money, they're going to get there, they'll invest, they'll build a business, big business, they'll get married, and then they do all that. He grows up, he has a good job, he becomes the CEO of his own business, he builds himself a beautiful mansion with a pool in the backyard, and he gets married, he has 2 kids,
and a dog.
2 dogs, 2 cats, he has everything, he has 3 cars, whatever he wants. And then he gets to his middle age, 45, 50, and then he thinks, who said I wanted to be a lawyer? I never wanted to be a lawyer in the first place. Let's go into the construction line, and I shouldn't have married this woman, and they divorced, and I never liked this type of car, and let's go to let me try a motorcycle, you know, these old men, trying new things out. Where'd it come from? They got what they wanted. They were dreaming as a teenager to be there, and they got there. And then they go through this middle-age crisis, they change over their life entirely to a completely different person who they truly are. The problem is, we've got to define well the problem that people are searching happiness and searching pleasure, and somehow everyone's losing it. The question is asked, and we've been through this, is what's the opposite word of the word pain? Could you answer me? The opposite word of the word pain. Most of you would answer pleasure. Opposite word, pain, is pleasure. And unfortunately, that's the biggest mistake American society has taught the world. That if you want pleasure, you gotta escape pain. The opposite word of pain is comfort. Comfortable. You comfort, it's easy, it's no pain. No pain involved. You know, don't get that job which might be too hard for you. It's too much pain. Don't apply for that job. Don't get married. Marriage is very painful. A lot of effort involved. Don't do this, don't do that. Everything is about no pain. Try to escape pain. If you think into it, that's all comfort. So what's comfort? Comfort is sitting on a couch relaxing. Comfortable. You're not doing anything. So when we lie in bed, because you're just bored, you're comfortable. How good do you feel after lying in bed 2 hours? Or 3 hours? You're not doing anything. It's all pleasurable. It's comfort. You're not doing anything. It's empty. The ultimate comfort is asleep. When you're asleep, there's really no pain. Or when you're dead, lying in the grave, no pain. It's comfortable. That's comfort. Pain and pleasure isn't a stereo. On the contrary, the only way to achieve true pleasure, the only way to get to true pleasure is through pain. Pain is the only way you're going to get to emerson pleasure, and you'll feel happy and pleasurable and alive. And you have to remember this, the 4 P's. Pain is the price to pay for pleasure. Remember the 4 P's. Pain is the price to pay for pleasure. I think we should make bumper stickers, by the way. Pain is the price to pay for pleasure. It's a thing which everyone has to remember, because it can change people's lives. Think into it. Anything you're looking for, you're searching for, and you want to get there, you want to make it, you'll have to go through some painful experience. Always give an example of someone studying. He wants to become a doctor. He's in college, he wants to become a doctor. So he goes through all the lessons, and he has to study a lot. The last 2 weeks before the exams, he's studying over his books all night. Very painful. Pain in the neck. A lot of effort involved. And his friends come over to him. Let's go party tonight. Let's go drink. Let's go to the bar. The pub. Let's drink. Now I ask you, what's more enjoyable? What's more comfortable? To work all night, study over your books, or to drink? Of course, it's more comfortable to drink. What's more pleasurable? The next day, when you got your doctorate, when you got your certificate, you're a doctor, or your hangover? It might be more comfortable to do certain things, but the true pleasure is when you got something which you were searching for. If you like to make jigsaw puzzles, you're really into it, and you'd work hard to make a very hard puzzle. So you go to a store and you buy a puzzle, 5,000 pieces, without any edges. Make it even harder, and the picture is sesame seeds. Ultimate puzzle. Sesame seeds, maybe you'll have like the container like tipped over, so it'll make it a bit easier. A picture of a container and sesame seeds without any edges. You come home, it's 5,000 piece puzzle, and you open up the box, and on each piece there's a number where it connects to the next piece. What are you going to do with this puzzle? Take it back. You fooled me. So what do you mean? It was a beautiful picture. Someone tore it up, ripped it up to 5,000 pieces, and made it easier for you. I made it easier to create this picture. There's no pain. There's no gain. I wanted to put effort in it. I wanted to pour over this puzzle and work hard and have the feeling of achieving. Wow, look what I created. Out of 5,000 pieces, I made the puzzle. You can think of any example. The more effort and pain you put into something, that's the way you'll get true pleasure. You wake up in the morning and you go to shul. You can either walk or drive. It's more comfortable. It's more comfortable to drive. It's more painful to walk. Now how do you feel when you get to shul and the kitchen is still in your face? You're still half asleep because you're just out of the bed, into the car, into shul. Or you walk 10 minutes and you're alive. The bigger pain involved is the more pleasure. Now Lamaisa, this is a Mishnah, the Fim Tzara Agra, which doesn't just mean that if you're suffering in this world, then you'll get a lot of pain, you'll get a lot of schar. in that world. It means the film side of however much effort and pain is involved, it's more pleasurable. You'll feel the excitement and that you're alive of what the effort you put in. Now if you think into it, every invention for the last, I don't know how many years, hundreds of years, was only to make life more comfortable. Take any invention, it's only to make life more comfortable. From a snooze button on an alarm clock till the whole internet. What do we get out of the snooze button? 3 more minutes of sleep. And then, don't tell me that your day will be more, you have a clearer mind because you slept another 3 minutes. You just get more aggravated because in 3 minutes it rings again. So if once you had a fight once, with the alarm clock, it woke you up, fine. But every 3 minutes is going to wake up. It's for your comfort because you can't face that challenge of jumping out of bed when the alarm clock rings. So then the invention came out to let you to give you this comfortability of sleeping another 3 minutes. It's everything. It's a car and it's everything, and the whole internet. Without going into the other problems of internet, but the idea of the internet is a machine that you have access to everything immediately. If you're doing a study on the internal organs of a hippopotamus, okay? So you'll have to go to a libraries and pore over books and find the right studies, the right books to know exactly what you're looking for. It could take weeks or months. But nowadays, you're sitting at home, you're sitting in the office, you just Google it, there you are, you have it. Everything is accessible immediately. Life is becoming more and more comfortable. And that was the question, so why is life so painful? Because that's the answer. People confuse comfort with pleasure. And that's the biggest mistake. When you confuse comfort with pleasure, the whole world is seeking pleasure. But how are they seeking pleasure? By escaping pain. So they're seeking pleasure, escaping pain, you end up with comfort. And you end up with comfort is suicidal. Because you feel empty. Whoever is searching pain, is searching pleasure, must know this point, as pain is the price to pay for pleasure. This guy who is building this house, he has a beautiful mansion, and has 3 dogs and everything, he's only doing that to get more comfortable in life. And when you get just more comfortable, it'll still be empty. We spoke last week about this Anegel Hashem, that's the ultimate tanig, the ultimate pleasure. Closeness to Hashem is the ultimate tanig. You can't get happier and more pleasurable than Zan eins mit der Eibishter. Be one with Him. Actually, the Lushan in Mesilas Yesharim, I checked it up this week in a different cipher called Derech Hashem. And we'll all be learning it one day, Mitzvah Hashem, because everything we talk about says there. And Derech Hashem says very clearly that Hashem created the world, He wanted to give us good. Now Hashem is the ultimate good. He's the ultimate source of all good. So He can't give just a little good, because it won't be real for Him to give a little good. If Hashem is shleimus, Hashem is perfect, and someone who is perfect wants to do someone a favor, if he'll do only a half a favor, it's not perfect of Him by giving only a half a favor. So if Hashem created the world and wanted to do good by creating the world, it's not perfect of Him just to give a little favor. The only way He could give true favor, true tovas to people, true kindness, is by giving Himself. He Himself is the only emissary, perfect type of kindness. You follow me? Hashem created the world for our favor, to give kindness. Since He is perfect, He can't give a little bit of kindness. He has to give the best type of kindness, which there is. What's the best type of kindness? Not a car or a nice house. Hashem Himself. Because less than Hashem, it's not the best kindness. So therefore He created the world with the ability inside to connect to Him and to be one with Him. There you got it. Ultimate pleasure. That's why He created the world, to be able to get to the ultimate pleasure, which is close to Hashem. But if so, we must understand that it's very painful. But it's worth effort. It's worth the effort to put in, because that's the ultimate pleasure. Because, as we said, the more pain, the more pleasurable it will be. You test this by each mitzvah. It's not just like closeness to Hashem. Take any mitzvah, middle of davening. You could either finish off the davening because I gotta do this. I mean, I can't not daven. Or you could put in the effort to have in mind every second, every word what you're saying, and you've got to really focus. Painful, I agree. But you're alive. After davening Shachris, everyone will agree to me that if you daven a mincha, a malif, and you just said the words, you don't feel so good afterwards. But if you put in the effort, and which was painful, and you couldn't be bothered, but you really focused and you put in the effort, you feel good afterwards. What's that good feeling? Because you put in the effort to appreciate the beauty of Hashem. And you became close to Him those minutes. Every minute in your life, you can either decide to escape the pain of, let me not think now, let me just walk around like a zombie, empty person. Or, no, let me focus. Let me think. Think about Hashem every second of your life. It's hard. Yeah, very hard. But it's the pain involved to get to the ultimate pleasure. How do we work on this to get to that focus on the pleasure? If we understand what's going on, the pain and pleasure, that there is pain in every pleasure, but that's the only way to get to the pleasure, will help you focus whenever you have this painful experience, but you know it will bring pleasure. Then don't think, oh, it's too painful. That's the reason you should be doing it. So, Rav Noach Weinberg gave this motion. He always used to speak about this example of pain and pleasure. He said, imagine you're walking in Manhattan and you see a group of guys playing basketball. Hey, they play there all year. Ever notice that they're all day playing basketball? Go over to them and take away the ball. And say, continue playing. Play without the ball. Like, imagine as if there's a ball, you can bounce, you dribble, you aim, you jump, you throw, but without a ball. And I'll pay you $10 an hour if you do it. How long will this game last? Nothing. A minute, 2 minutes. Why? What will they say after 2 minutes? You're crazy, running around, jumping, it's so hot. You know, it's a waste of time. Give back the ball. How long could they play for? An hour, 2 hours, and then they're killed, they're dead, they can't breathe, and they sit down, they take a rest of 10 minutes, and another game. What happened? You're just as hot, you're just as sweating, you're jumping, you're running around, you're throwing things, it's just as hot and heavy. The answer is, are you focused on the ball, or are you focused on the pain? Everything in life, when you're enjoying it, think into it. There's painful experience there too. But your eyes are on the ball. When your eyes are on the ball, you'll enjoy it. Anyone who has a happy marriage, good Shulam Bayis, will know that too. He's enjoying life. He could be focused on different parts, different aspects of his marriage, on the effort he's putting in to build his marriage, and then, well, why should I do all this? But one has to know that the way he's going to get that is only through the painful experience. Therefore, when something comes up and it's too painful, well, you have to know. There's the pain involved, don't focus on the pain. If you focus on the pain, it'll be very painful and you won't be able to play for a minute. If you focus on the pleasure, on the ball, you can play for hours. If you ever find yourself escaping pain, you should test yourself with this. You have something comes up and should I do it or not? And the way you test to see if you should do it or not, the way you weigh it is it too painful for me to do it or not? That's the way we weigh things. No, I can't be bothered because it's too painful. If that's the way you weigh it because it's too painful, and therefore you give up, you should only know you're compromising on your own pleasure in life. That should really get you. You're escaping the pain just means you're compromising in your own pleasure. Because if you know this is the right thing to do, but the way you quit is because look at the pain. You crazy? Because there's so much pain, that means something good is hidden behind this treasure. The only way you're going to get to true pleasure is through getting through this. And if you escape the pain, it just means you're compromising on your own pleasure, which isn't too healthy for you, if you want to have a happy life. And this is the answer to the question of the Yetzer Hara. Hashem wanted us to be good. Hashem wanted us to have pleasure in this world. And He created the Yetzer Hara. He made it hard for us. Why did He make it so hard for us? And again, that's the answer. The Yetzer are here. There's a medrash. Hashem created the world that says every day, V'hinai v'yalekim soa ketoiv. Every day Hashem says something was good about it. And the last day, Yom HaShishi is v'yalekim that's v'hinai toiv mo'oid. Says the illusion toiv mo'oid. Good. It was very good. So the medrash says toiv is a Yetzer Tov. That the Yetzer Tov is a good thing. It helps you do mitzvahs. But mo'oid, very good, is Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is very good. Why is the Yetzer Hara very good? The Yetzer Hara is a malach. Hashem created him to help the universe, to help the world. He's not really the bad guy. He is, he makes us do avodas, but on the other hand, Hashem says he's very good. He's not just like the Yetzer Hara helps you do mitzvahs. He's very good, he helps you do avodas. Why is he very good? And that's the answer. Because if there's no game, if there's no pain, there's no game. You're playing a computer game. And the aliens are falling down very slowly. Every minute there's one alien comes down. And you manage to shoot him, kill him. Very good, good for you. And when you get over that level, what do? You go up to level 2. What if someone says, no, I'm not going to go to level 2. You crazy, the aliens are going to fall down. I'm going to start all over again and play level 1 again and again and again. Stick to level 1 because no aliens fall down. It's so much more fun. You get more points because no aliens fall down. So loser. Don't be such a loser. You got up to 3, 4, 5 and someone's looking over your shoulder and said, whoa, said, don't look at me, I'm busy, don't disturb me. The aliens are falling one after another. That's a game. You're fighting something. You feel good. I'm not saying we should put ourselves into a nisayon for this reason, because it's not just an alien in a computer game, you're playing with fire. So if you might fall and it's not worth it. But when Hashem sends something to you, wow, this is an opportunity. Let me see if I can fight it. And it was hard, even better. The harder it is, it means Hashem really trusts in you. It means you're going to get true pleasure out of this. People Hashem doesn't trust, He puts them on level 1, and He lets them slowly go through life on level 1. No nisyonis. Wow, he's a tzaddik. He doesn't have any nisyonis. Hashem is afraid to give him nisyonis. He's on level 1. Hashem wants people who, man, you're a man, you're on level 9, you're on level 10. I'll give you more and more and more. He said, wow, you're good. So we feel bad that, I must be such a shayt. I have so many nisyonis in my life. It's not for me, this guy. It's so hard for me. I'd love to go to do other things. Of course, this is level 10. He believes in you. You're up to level 10. You got there from lower levels. And then what happens when we do fall? Sometimes we fall, and then Hashem punishes. In this world, we're not going to talk about the next. That's a different subject. And then again, why does He punish us? The whole world He created for our pleasure, and He wants our favor. And the ultimate pleasure is closest to Hashem. He sent me this Yetzer Hara, and I fell, and He's punishing me. That's not fair. But we know that again, being close to Hashem is the ultimate pleasure. If you fall, you might fall again. And He wants to make sure that you don't fall again. There's no such thing as punishments. Hashem doesn't punish. He makes sure you remember. Imagine there's the little kid runs into the street and all the neighbors suddenly hear screeching of a car. Baruch Hashem, he stopped just in front of an inch away from the child, saved. And everyone screams at this child, are you crazy? And they shout at him, you run in the street. The guy in the car, he jumps out of the car and chases the child down the whole block because he almost killed him. But there's one guy who chases the child 3 blocks, and when he gets to that child, he bends him over and he gives him a whack. He beats him up. Who is that guy? The father. Because all the other people said, yeah, I told him he's crazy for running in the street. You told him he's crazy. What if you told him he's crazy? He's crazy. I mean it. I'm his father. I'm his father. I truly mean he's crazy. And I want to make sure he'll never do it again. Hashem loves us. Hashem doesn't want us to do it again. Because it was a stupid mistake. Avodah means a mistake. You made a stupid mistake. And since you made that stupid mistake, I'm going to make sure you'll never do it again because I I trust in you and I want you. And I know that you can come to me and can get the ultimate pleasure. But if you fall again and again, you won't get anywhere. Okay, that's like a quick review. As I said, we're here for pleasure. We all know this by now, we're here for pleasure. But the definition of pleasure is not escaping pain. Definition of pleasure is putting in the effort, and the more effort involved, the true pleasure you'll get. Yeah, you ask any secular person, how many children are they going to have? What's the child rate now? 1.7, I think. They're going to answer 1.7. Okay, they'll answer 2. 2 kids. So what do you mean? You don't know? Why are you having 2 children? Why are you having children at all? What do you mean? Children is pleasure. Children is pleasure. So why 2? Why not 18? Like a nice Jewish family. Why don't you have 18 kids? 18 kids, no. What do you mean? It's too much pleasure? You said children is pleasure. You're afraid of too much pleasure? Well, too much pain. I was once giving this class to a secular group, and I asked the crowd, I asked someone, what's your parents' biggest pleasure in life? And the guy answered me. I said, what's your parents' biggest pain in life? I said, my sister. Everyone agrees that the best pleasure people have, of course there are better pleasures, you close to Hashem, you know, there's pleasures, but the best pleasures most people have in this world is their children. Everyone would agree to that. That's the best pleasures most people have. But we all know, Tzargidul Buddhim is a thing. It hurts, it's effort, it's painful. It's the biggest pain in this world compared to the biggest pleasure we could have from these types of pleasures. Therefore, when you're escaping pain, you're escaping pleasure. People who go through a middle-age crisis because they have everything, it's because they're searching pleasure, but they're afraid of the pain. They're afraid of the pain, they're getting comfort, they're not getting pleasure. And that's what you have to know when you find yourself in a situation, when you're escaping pain, you're compromising on your own happiness in life, which isn't healthy at all. And then that's the same thing with all the nisyonos, because it's there to have a challenge, and a challenge is pleasurable. You feel good after you've done it, and when Hashem gave you, it means He trusts in you, and you'll get there. And that's the Yetzer Hara for. That's what He's there for. And when Hashem does, we do fall, and He makes sure, and He punishes us. We have to know He doesn't punish us. He just really cares for us, not like the people who watched the almost accident, but like the father ran after him 3 blocks and made sure he'll never do it again. Hashem wants to truly make sure we will never do it again. Thank you.